First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking these days as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
You can really know what's up next. What up, doe? This is not Davie Portman. This is not Braden Harrington. There's no hellos. There's a lot of what up, does, though. John Siino Weaver here. B-Detroit. What up, doe, B? What's going on?
What up, doe? What up, doe? Post Wrestling Universe. What up, doe? Poisonrana universe. What up, doe? John Siino, my tag team partner. How you doing, brother?
This is a takeover. We are taking over these airwaves at Post Wrestling, youtube.com/Post Wrestling, Twitter, Facebook, everything. I was trying to like get onto the Post Wrestling Snapchat and Threads and all that. I was trying to get in as many airwaves as possible because people need to hear us. People need to hear our voices if they haven't heard us already, whether it be on What Up Doe on the Poisonrana feed or whether it be on Collision Course with myself and Kate from Montreal. This is the people have heard you with Davie and with Braden. People have heard me with Davie and Braden talk about upNXT, but people have never heard two other people take over the show. And it's only fitting that it be us, as the lads are, I want to say, either in Berlin right now or heading back to London. They're just having a whole European tour right now.
Whole Euro trip. They look like they're having a blast, man. Shout out to Braden and Davie for letting us take over the upNXT show for this couple weeks while they're taking a trip over across the pond. But if you're not listening to What Up Doe or anything with Siino on Post Wrestling, which is kind of impossible, welcome. I'm B-Detroit.
Yeah, if you guys haven't heard them, they've been doing like these BD Europe little road diaries they've been putting up on their feed. Check it out. They did like one from the airport, another one like straight out of Berlin. So definitely check it out to make sure that they're still living and they're still breathing and they're still able to come back. I'm keeping track of them and making sure that they're going to come back at some point. But hello to everybody that's joining us in the chat. Anybody that's coming in to listen to us after the fact. Thank you so much. I was told that whatever super chats we get, we can keep and we can split it up, which I definitely appreciate because I have to start getting school supplies soon. I know school starts in a couple weeks, and I just looked at the list, and every year as the grades get up there, it's more and more supplies. I'm like, my son doesn't need this. Like half the time, he doesn't need any of this shit that they ask for. But I have to be the good father, and I have to actually buy everything and make sure he's prepared on his first day of school in a couple weeks. So yeah, send those super chats our way. I'm sure B can use something for something. Money's money, right?
Yeah, just more Detroit hats probably, and more merch. Just little things. I support the boys. Why not?
Look at that sweet shirt. ProWrestlingTees.com. Get your shot in the dark t-shirt.
Boys, man, come on.
There we go. If you want a super chat, you want to buy some merch, go ahead. I'm sure there'll be some Poisonrana merch coming soon. Maybe some What Up Doe merchandise coming soon. Whatever the audience wants and demands, we will make sure that we have it. So yeah. So if people don't really know you or know, what we do here, let people know, like, what is B-Detroit? Who is B-Detroit? And, what do you bring to the table? Why should people listen to you, B?
I'm just a crazy wrestling fan from Detroit. No, I actually host the show What Up Doe on the Poisonrana podcast platform with you, John Siino, and we just talk about hip hop and wrestling and everything else, pop culture with TV, movies, and video games and everything. So we just covered all the bases with a little bit of more hip hop into it because me and you both hip hop heads, both musicians in our own right. So yeah, we just kind of keep music based. If you not know that, that's what we do. We kind of got the best theme song in the post wrestling universe. It's debatable. I'm not, it's just highly debatable. We can. That's another conversation for another day, though.
And this past episode that we just put up last week, we have the beat that Braden made, but this is a remix with your cousin.
Yeah,
spitting some 16 bars over it. And I have to admit, like I heard it like when I went back and listened to the show, and I totally forgot I heard it the first time. I'm like, this is really freaking good. Like this is probably up there as one of the best themes. I don't know. I might have to get your cousin to come on and do something over the Collision Course beat after hearing that.
Man, he's he goes by the name Jay Spiff, and he's a local rapper here. He's just trying to get his feet wet out here in the game, but also a lifelong wrestling fan. So like wrestling bars just come easy to that kid, and he's amazing. He's amazed me every time I hear him rap because he's saying like, "Hey, you inspired me to rap," and it's like, "No, dude, you're way better than me." But I'm proud of him though, man. He'd be happy to do any theme song for you guys, or just spit some bars. He wants to get out there.
Yeah, and like I said, if you want to hear the new episode, if you want to hear me talk stuff that's not wrestling, if you're sick of Shot in the Dark, sick of Collision Course, this guy's always talk about wrestling. You want to hear me talk about movies, want to hear talk about Gran Turismo, want me to talk about video games, whatever the case is, check out last week's episode that we put up there. But speaking of video games, and I did bring this up on the What Up Though, I did mention how because of reasons, I won't get into it to listen to What Up Though for that. I had to delete the Fight Forever game. But then today I wake up and I see this video from Tony Khan and Kenny Omega announcing that within 24 hours, whatever that means, the Stadium Stampede update is going to be up for Fight Forever. So I might have to re-download the game now just to check this out. But you've kept more in touch with the game and you've seen like gameplay footage. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on this? It's an online mode. It's like an online battle royal, but Stadium Stampede is what I'm getting from it.
Yeah. So I've played the game. I've had the game since it released. I gave my thoughts on it on my on the What Up Though show with me and you. It's a game that you can complete really, really easily. And this mode should bring people back. Not a lot of players are actively playing it right now still, but I think this mode here is going to bring a lot of players back. It's a battle royal type game. Think Fortnite with wrestling, it's you got your gas closing in on you and everything like that. So it's like throughout the whole stadium, which is a good concept, but it's been done before. In a game called I think like WrestleVerse or something like that. It's the same concept, but I'm excited to see how AEW does it. I mean, it's actual wrestlers. Like it's crazy. Like WWE would never do something like this. So this is pretty fun to like get a couple people. You got it's like 30 players in the match, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's 30 players in the match, and then it breaks down kind of like a Warzone game. So if you play Warzone, if you play Fortnite, Apex Legends, or anything like that, you'll probably like this.
So I'm not sure if it's out yet. If anybody has played it, let us know. If it didn't come out yet, I'm pretty sure it's going to come out tonight probably. But yeah, like it's funny you said WWE doesn't do this, but I saw it recently. They actually put Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair in Fortnite, which is like always weird, like to have a video game where it could be like Spider-Man running around with Becky Lynch running around with Batman and like LeBron James and like the amount of people that are in Fortnite. Goku, it's like my son, like when he replayed this game, I'm like, you have it for granted. Like when I was young, I used to like fantasy fiction, like with my action figures. I used to have like Ninja Turtles. Shout out to Davey Portman. I don't know if those Ninja Turtles. I used to have like Ninja Turtles battling like Ghostbusters and Justice League and Avengers, and like I had to make it up. It's all in my head. And now it's like these kids can literally go on Fortnite, Fall Guys, all these different games, and actually like have these like dream mashups. Like I was playing Fall Guys the other day, and it's like Rey Mysterio is running around with like Godzilla, and I'm like, what is going on? Like,
I would have never imagined like video games to get this far, and the fact that you can have Goku running around with a WWE Championship on his back, like, it doesn't happen. So like these kids had it made. You're right.
We have a one David Porter. He just sent us a message saying, "Damn, that's a couple of handsome looking men. Much better than the usual duo." I agree. Thank you so much, David Porter, for your contribution there. We have Wei Ting in the house as well, throwing up the W's. But yeah, you want to get into NXT Heatwave?
Let's do it, man. Great show.
This took place last night, August 22nd, which is my brother's birthday. Shout out to my brother, Joe. There was a couple of dark matches before, but some interesting note, because usually they tape Level Up before NXT, but I noticed that they've been kind of like bulking Level Up the last couple of weeks. So I knew there was going to be nothing for this week. So I was surprised. I was like intrigued on what they were going to do. And they actually filmed a couple of dark matches. And I think PW Insider reported that they're actually doing it for like a Peacock WWE Network special, which I was kind of like intrigued about. And I looked up who was actually on it, and you had like Thea Hale defeating Brianna Covington, who is a Fresno State track and field athlete, as well as Jonah Nisenbaum, which is a Duke amateur wrestler who had a match as well. And they had like their family and friends at ringside, I guess, documenting the whole thing. So it might just be like some next in line NIL documentary coming up about like their progress and getting into the WWE system. So I think it's pretty cool to see that. I like these these Peacock originals. I really like the Cody Rhodes one. There's going to be a Kurt Angle one coming up. So I feel like they always do a good job whenever they don't do them as frequent as they used to, but whenever they do like these network docs, they're good. And I really enjoyed, I forgot the name of it, but there was like, I think it was called Breaking Breaking Ground or Proven. It was like some NXT special that came out years ago.
Yep.
That like show like them kind of like making their way to the Performance Center, and we haven't had like an update of that or anything similar to that. So I feel like this might just be the start of it if they're filming all these matches for this documentary special. So I'm definitely looking forward to this.
Yeah, that was Proven Ground, or I forget the name, but it was kind of like WWE's version of Hard Knocks on HBO.
Yes,
and that was pretty cool. So I think they're going to try to replicate that again. So
absolutely. So the show itself starts with a package, because usually whenever they have like these like spring break specials or Great American Bash, they always have like these like pre-produced videos with like the roster just kind of hanging out. So of course with Heatwave, we get all these people here in their bikinis and whatnot, in their shorts by the pool, showing off their bodies that we don't have. And we have Tony D'Angelo on the phone talking to Channing Stacks Lorenzo, and Stacks says, "Tony D, I need you over here. We have a real situation. It needs to be handled." And then Tony D says, "What do you need me for? I'm in enough heat as it is. Everybody's watching me." Stack says, "There's a heat wave going through. I want you to feel this. Here I come, T." And then you just cut in and you realize you're both at the same place. And Stacks just runs in and jumps into the pool, and all the water just splashes Tony. And then Tony has these 5 guys behind him, and he's like, "Go get them!" And they, jokingly just kind of jump in the pool and jump after Stacks. And then they're kind of just, hanging out in the pool, just drinking, going over the card. And Tony D brings up his penitentiary paisan, Dirty Dom. And then he says, "Lyra Valkyria. Did I say that right?" And Stacks is like, "Yeah, pretty close." We then cut to these 5 ladies. This one lady, I guess, went by the name of Big Ange, who says, "I'm here and I brought some friends." And of course, me doing my research, I had to find out who these friends were, because some of these ladies I did see on Level Up, and some of this, in the Performance Center. So these are Anna Kiefer is playing the role of Big Ange. We also have Izzy Dame and Carmen Petrovic, who I have seen on Level Up, as well as Gino DeLucia, Tiana Caffey, and the returning Ariana Grace, who is the daughter of Santina Marella. She's been out with an injury, so she looks like she'd be making her return here. And of course, Stacks doesn't waste any time. He starts kicking it to Ariana right away, trying to get to know her better and whatnot. I just want this to lead to like some stereotypical Italian wedding on NXT. Like if you guys have seen The Godfather, you've seen all these Goodfellas, you know how these Italian weddings go with like the envelopes full of money and everything. I want to see that, but done in NXT. And of course, if it's going to be Stacks and Ariana, we need to have Santino there as well, coming back just to give his daughter away to Stacks.
Yeah, he has to officiate the wedding.
We've seen many weddings in WWE and wrestling in general, but we've never seen an Italian wedding. As far as I know, I could be wrong. So I definitely want to see that. Of course, Tony D'Angelo's got to be the best man. And then if does anybody object, and that's the return of Two Dimes comes in, and all of a sudden, he's back in. I get this whole storyline.
You booked the whole thing already.
If you need somebody to write you an Italian wedding in NXT, reach out to me. I know exactly.
More than qualified. Yeah, more than qualified.
I've been to more than one Italian wedding, so I know exactly how these go. So he's kicking it to them, and then they're kind of going over the card still as well. And they all raise their cups, and they have a toast to an unforgettable summer and an unforgettable heat wave as they go right into the main show. And we start with Ilja Dragunov versus Trick Williams. I don't know if Trick Williams changed his theme song or whatnot, but the crowd totally gets into this when he comes out. Yeah. And they start chanting like "Pump that trick" to the beat, and it just sounds perfectly. And the best part about this is Booker T doing his ad-libs. So it's like "Pump that trick," what? "Pump that trick," yeah.
Now,
pump that trick.
It was "Whoop that trick," but his theme kind of sounded like "Family Ties" by Kendrick Lamar and Baby King. And when it was playing, I'm like, is this Family Ties? I'm kind of bumping like this is the instrumental to Family Ties, but it wasn't though. But it's pretty close, and he should keep this theme if he did recently change it.
As long as Booker T can just like keep doing the ad libs every week and just keep changing it up and be like,
absolutely.
I want to see Booker T be like Trick Williams hype man here. We go to the match itself, and right away Dragunov goes after Trick with chops and kicks in the corner as Trick tries to fight back before getting kicked down. Dragunov stays on top of Trick with some heavy-looking shots, but Trick comes right back with some forearms and a drop kick. They head to the outside where Dragunov hits a German suplex. Hey, you think the BDE is trying any German suplexes since they're in Berlin? They have to try it, right? Like, you got to hit a German suplex in Germany.
At least one. Find a patch of grass and, you know what I mean? Pop the hips.
If you guys haven't done it already, just hit one German for me before you jump on the plane back to London. We come back from the break, and the chops continue here with machine gun chops from Dragunov to the corner. And this just pisses off Trick as he just starts slugging it out with Dragunov. Dragunov tells Trick to bring it on with his kicks before Trick hits a flapjack and a big knee for a 2 count. Dragunov comes back with back-to-back DDTs for another 2. The crowd here really gets into this as they're fighting on the middle rope, and Trick takes him down with a Uranagi for a very close 2. Dragunov blocks a kick from Trick and hits a German, a kick to the head, a powerbomb, and a forearm to Trick's face, but he actually kicks out at 2 at this and gets a big pop for the crowd. Dragunov says, enough of this shit. He goes to the middle rope. He hits one final blow to the face from the middle rope and gets a hard-fought victory at 12 minutes and 48 seconds. So what did you think of this match?
Pretty good match. Trick is getting better and better every time. He has pretty good gear. It stands out for me, of course, but it looks kind of like Gucci, but that was pretty nice. But no, Trick is getting really, really good, man. He's got to lay it in a little bit more, you know what I mean, against a guy like Dragunov who can take that and he's going to give you that receipt. So yeah, I'm just impressed by Trick every time, man. He's super athletic. He's going to be great.
Yeah, I agree. If anybody doesn't know, Dragunov is legit like my favorite wrestler to watch right now. Whenever he has a match, I make sure I stop whatever I'm doing. I watch it intently. So with him fighting somebody like Trick, I was really intrigued on like how Trick is going to do in this type of matchup. And I think it brought the best out of him. It's probably have to double check, but might be one of the best matches Trick has had. Just keep putting it in there with guys like him, guys like Tyler Bate, guys like Dragon Lee, these guys that have experience. That's the only way that Trick's going to get better, right? It's one thing to have these like enhancement matches, but like if you fight somebody like Dragunov, it's only going to bring the best out of you. And I agree with you. Trick has only gotten better and better. And I kind of like the separation from Carmelo. And I have some ideas of where I might go to, and we'll talk about that later on in the show. But as far as like this is a way to prove himself, like in defeat, this is a really good way to showcase yourself. If people haven't seen Trick before, they might come out of this just to tune in for Dragunov or Heatwave and be like, oh, who's this Trick guy? I thought he was just like the hanger on for Carmelo. I didn't know this guy can talk and wrestle. So I see nothing but big things to Trick Williams. What was the club that we saw Trick Williams come out of in Detroit? Didn't he like pop out of one of those clubs?
Yeah, I think that was the Well. That was like a bar. It's really popular bar when it comes to downtown Detroit. Yeah, I think that was the Well he came out of. Yeah, he looking like Trick Williams. You know what I mean? Looking like that guy.
and Trick is everywhere. Like not only did they bring him into Detroit to do like some publicity for SummerSlam, but he was over by Lincoln Field and in Philadelphia because I think he like tried out for the Eagles, I want to say, at some point. So
nice.
they're definitely like been using him a lot in like these like media appearances for somebody who's like not too well known, and you know hasn't been champion or anything NXT, but they obviously have some confidence behind him to actually use him in these places. So I feel really big things for Trick Williams here.
Oh yeah.
We cut to the back where Tyler Bate is meditating, and Nathan Frazer walks in asking what he's up to. Bate says that Dabba-Kato hurt him last week, so this is how he embraces the pain and moves through it. Bate says tonight, if Frazer is showing the world who the true Heritage Cup, he'll be showing the world who the true Heritage Cup champion is. And Frazer said that's why he's here, because Noam Dar has the metaphor in his corner, so he could definitely use Bate as his second, which Bate agrees to. Frazer says that when he takes care of Dar tonight, Bate will be the first one to get a title shot. As Bate says tonight, they'll take care of those metaphor massive frauds. We go to Dominik, Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley backstage. As Dom says tonight, they're going to punish Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria. And Rhea says that's what mommy loves to do and punish. Mustafa Ali interrupts them, and Dominik tells him to get. He says, get. And then Ali just wants them to break a leg, and he means, I literally want Dominik to break a leg in a million pieces and just go away so NXT can have a real North American champion that they're proud of. Dominik says, I don't care about NXT. I just care about mommy. So Rhea tells Ali he has 10 seconds to get out of their locker room and before they give him a preview of what's going to happen to Dragon Lee and Lyra tonight. And then Ali says, only 10 seconds? Sounds like something Dom and Rhea might be used to. And of course, a little sexual dig in NXT.
Yeah,
you can't have an episode of NXT without that.
Ali is getting, sometimes Ali comes off good, you know, like speaking, but sometimes he's getting a little TJP-ish, you know what I mean? Like just a little bit, you know what I mean? I would love to hear John recap Ali's promos from now on. Because it's a little cringy.
This poor guy, like since he's come back to NXT, he became like, he was positive Ali, and then he was like just like an upset guy that just wanted the title shot, and now he's kind of going to this like presidential candidate type of. It's like these like they don't really know what to do with him. I do like the video they had last week, like even though it's like a candidate whatever gimmick, like it was really good, like the way it was presented and the way he came off. So if this is going to lead to a match between Ali and Dominik and put the title on Ali, you know, as far as I'm considered, they're going to start this feud. But I always love myself. Yeah. I always love myself some Dom and Rhea, and just this Dominik saying get out of here was that definitely made me pop.
Yeah.
We go to the next match. We have Ivy Nile versus Ava. This is Ava making her singles televised debut. I know she's had a couple like house show matches, but the first time she's had a singles match on television here. So I wonder if Papa Rock was watching. He never like tweets or posts anything about her. I'm like, damn, like I don't know if it's like on purpose, if like she said not to, but like whenever like I see her like in a big match, I always kind of go into social media and say, oh, I wonder if his dad like promoted it. No, nothing. He's just promoting his
I don't think he will.
his drinks instead.
You know,
probably not.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think The Rock is going to be the guy that's going to let you grow on your own first before he starts pushing you, because he's The Rock. His platform's too big. You know what I mean, to push this match of all matches. So.
But I bet when Rocky Maivia was making his debut, his dad Rocky Johnson was telling everybody in the barbershop. He must have been proud, like, oh, my son gonna debut in MSG tonight. He was telling everybody. So The Rock doesn't just seem like that type. He's more like just kind of do you, and then if you ever need help down the line. I saw a funny tweet today. It was like a picture of The Rock, and it was like, the bloodlines, crumbling. His daughter's getting kidnapped. Where is this man? What is he doing? He should be saving all these people, his whole bloodline. But I thought that was kind of funny. He's too got to go shoot another movie, man. What are you talking about? What? Yeah, he's too busy in Hollywood. He's not shooting any movies now, right? Because of the strike. So what the hell is he doing?
Who knows? Right? Just working out, probably. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, he's got to keep that body ready in case
promoting some new drink or something that's coming out.
Shazam's coming out. Come on.
So the Schism come out. They all have masks, and they all say "Aren't Diamonds Forever" with some question marks. And they have a lot more followers in the corner than usual. They're all kind of surrounding the ring. The match starts, and right away, Ivy hits a pair of body slams. Ava hits a pair of body slams on Ivy and a backbreaker to get a 2 count. Ivy tries to kick her way back, but Ava takes her down with a scorpion kick for a 2 count. Ava stays on top of Ivy, but Ivy escapes out and puts on the Dragon Sleeper as Ava taps out pretty quickly here at 2 minutes and 12 seconds. All the followers enter the ring, and Ivy starts taking them out, but then 2 of the followers that look kind of familiar, they take Ava out of the ring and carry her to the back. Obviously, it's a short match here, being 2 minutes, but like, I'm not gonna lie, like Ava definitely shows that she's green. Like a lot of times she's a little clunky with the way she moves and whatnot. I definitely feel like she needs a little bit more time off TV before they start putting her in these matches. But obviously it was only 2 minutes, so I didn't think they expected her to do too much. But I feel like she definitely needs a little bit more work before she gets some more TV time. What did you think of this short exhibition from Ava?
Yeah, I ain't mad at that 2 minute match. It was 2 minutes of my time. It's a girl who has like I said, one match televised. Like, not mad at that at all. It actually helped Ivy get that Dragon Sleeper like across, because she tapped out immediately. It was no play in that, so that makes that move look more vicious. And it was only 2 minutes, so bam, hey, I take it.
Thank you to everybody in the chat. I know Jake sent us a shout out, a couple other people in here, but we have Jarvis here that says that I think The Rock is smart by giving his daughter space to grow on her own. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. She's not using the name. She's not Ava Maivia or Ava Johnson, so she's definitely like, people, if you know type of thing. Like, but they're definitely not like exposing it. For now, I don't know what happens when she goes to the main roster. They like totally do like a 360, and all of a sudden she comes out with like The Rock's theme song, whatever. Who knows what their plans are for her.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
We cut to the back where Wes Lee and Dragunov are there, and Wes asks Dragunov if he's good after his match with Trick. Dragunov says that he's good, that Trick isn't an issue anymore, and nothing stands in the way between him and the NXT Championship. And Wes goes, whoa, what about me? You don't think that I'm going to become champion? And Wes says that he wasn't destined for this, but tonight he makes his own destiny, and after he beats Carmelo Hayes, he'll have to go one-on-one with the Mad Dragon as well, who says he is looking forward to it. We go to the next match here for the NXT Heritage Cup Championship, the Undisputed Championship, after all these weeks of Noam Dar carrying a fake cup, and then, Tyler Bate winning it, and all this confusion, and Nathan Frazer being the real champion. We have the definitive championship match here. And then funny part here, so Booker T is like going on about the metaphor, and he's like, yeah, the metaphor, Jackson. And then Vic is like, you don't know their names, do you? And he's like, yeah, I do. Legend. He just like says their last names, and he's like, my main man Menza. And then every week it's like he keeps saying Menza, and Vic keeps correcting him. It's Mensa, and he's like, Menza, my main man Menza. It's like a recurring joke here, but it was pretty funny that he didn't know any of their names. He's like, yeah, the metaphor. So I thought that was pretty entertaining. So if you guys don't know how this works, it's basically supposed to be 5 rounds, and then whoever has the most pinfalls after the rounds is is the winner here. And if there is an overtime here, they have to go to the 6th round, which I heard Dickie Bird was a big fan of the Heritage Cup. He was just raving about it last night. They spend the first round testing each other out, holding each other down with headlocks and dodging each other until Frazer starts punching his way as the round ends. Round 2, we see this happening during picture-in-picture. And usually I don't like pay attention to picture-in-picture, but I noticed that during this, Davie runs out and he just takes out Tyler Bate, chokeslams him on the apron. And while this is going on, there's a commercial for Little Caesars Pizza. And I'm just like, it got me thinking the best pizza I had in Detroit was honestly the Little Caesars Pizza that we had in Harpo's in that hot, sweating GCW show. That was the best pizza I had all weekend.
Yes.
No offense to Buddies, but that Little Caesars, like I know Little Caesars is from Detroit, so they must use some different ingredients, but that pizza definitely hit the spot in that Harpo's.
Well, it's kind of the same concept. They say when you go to New York, you want to go to like the spots who don't look so safe around, right?
Yeah.
That Little Caesars is across the street from Harpo's, and it's not that safe around that place. And that pizza is amazing. So
I didn't think about this till now, but where the hell did that pizza even come from? Does Harpo just like order from Little Caesars?
They just go across the street. It was right across the street.
Oh, it's smart. They charge like what,
right
$2 a slice or something? For us, it's cheap, but then they definitely make their money back. $2 a slice.
$5. Yeah, it was a $5 box.
That's so smart for them to do that. We should start doing that. We should start selling pizza whenever these like post wrestling events. We'll just have a little snack bar on the side.
I'll just bring Little Caesars.
So while this Little Caesars commercial is happening, we have Davie taking out Tyler Bate, but Frazer is distracted by this as Dar rolls him up to get the first pin in the match. We come back to the show on the air, and Frazer is checking on Bate on the outside as round 3 starts. Frazer puts an FTF, but Dar reaches for the rope. Dar keeps stomping and kicking away at Frazer before putting an ankle lock, but Frazer sends Dar to the outside and dives onto him. They go back inside where Frazer quickly goes after Dar with a springboard moonsault into a reverse DDT, followed by a standing shooting star press, but only gets a 2 count as the round comes to an end. But right at the end, Dar gets a little cheap shot with a back elbow, as they said that should be a disqualification, but the referee didn't do anything about it. Round 4 starts with Frazer going after Dar, but misses the Phoenix Splash. Dar goes to the top rope, but Frazer runs up there and hits a superplex, followed by the final cut to get a pin and tie this up at 1-1 as we go back to picture-in-picture. We see that during the break, they were fighting on the top rope, but both were knocked down to the outside. And they're about to get counted out, but Lash Legend tosses Dar back inside just before the 10 count, and she fails to stop Frazer from entering as well. But when we come back, there's only 30 seconds left in the round. Frazer jumps to the outside on top of both Dar and Frazer, tosses Dar back inside, and he tries to go for the pin, but Legend holds onto his leg, preventing him from getting the pinfall in time. And when he goes to get the pin, he goes right at a 2 count as the round comes to an end. So as they're being tied here, we go to the tiebreaker in the 6th round and final round. Both of them are showing signs of fatigue here, trading kicks and punches, but going really slow here. Dar misses a stomp and escapes out of another reverse DDT attempt and puts on a heel hook, but Frazer punches his way out of it. Frazer tries another Phoenix Splash, but gets distracted a bit by the metaphor and misses it. Dar follows up with the Nova Roller and gets the pin and the win in 19 minutes and 41 seconds to become 3-time Heritage Cup champion, even though Booker T says he's a 4-time champion, and Vic is like, no, he's a 3-time champion. Please pay attention to the product. What did you think of this match? I don't know if you have seen much Heritage Cup, but during the pandemic when I was covering NXT UK, this tape of matches were on every week to the point where I liked it. I like the fact that I think it works better in an empty. I know I don't want the Thunderdome to come back, but the Heritage Cup definitely worked better for me in an empty arena. I don't know why. Something about it just felt more competitive with just 2 guys brawling with these rounds and everything. But yeah, but what did you think of the match and just the whole Heritage Cup rules to begin with?
I can see how you would like it more in an empty arena because it seemed more like an actual sport. I'm not mad at the Heritage Cup. It's not every Heritage Cup isn't 6 rounds, right? It's not. It's just for the championship.
It's supposed to be. Right? Yeah, it's supposed to be 5 rounds. And then if there's overtime, they obviously go to the overtime 6 round. Yeah.
Okay. It comes across good on TV. But the commercial breaks kind of get in the way. But if it's timed right with the commercial breaks, it'll come across great. Because if they time it with the breaks like boxing does when they are on regular TV, they're rounds in at the commercial. Bam, you take that commercial break and then you come back into the next round. We were getting whole rounds on commercial break in this match, and I was kind of taken out because I was kind of skipping through it. I didn't want to see anything in the commercial either. But Davie coming out after the 2nd round, I was like, oh, what happened to what's his name? I can't think of his name. I'm sorry.
Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate. What happened to Tyler Bate? He slammed on the apron. I didn't even see it. I had to go back and watch it again. But good match though. Good match. The last fall was pretty good. I kind of don't like the metaphor interacting that much, because this match is supposed to seem like more of a sport, you know what I mean?
Right.
But that's just Noam Dar's character right now, and I love the metaphor. I can't even complain that much. So yeah, I mess with the Heritage Cup, man, and I'm excited to see the tournament that they announced. I'm sorry if I jumped the gun, but I'm
That's all
excited for
good.
that.
No, I definitely like the idea of them actually doing things during commercial, like the fact that we had like this attack happening, and then we come back and like, oh, what's going on? So like anybody that might have like walked away to get a drink or something during picture in picture to come back and be like, oh, what did I miss? So I wouldn't mind if sometimes, especially in these Heritage Cup matches, just have like the pinfall happen during the break. Why not just do, you know, these little things you could definitely do to make people like not want to turn away or turn the channel, whatever the case is. And yeah, I was really big into this match. I'm a big fan of both of these guys, and I think it's the right call putting the cup back on Noam Dar here. I kind of wish he would have had the fake cup and he just carries both cups around. Just see the visual of him just carrying two cups while there's three other people with him, but he wants to carry the cups for some weird reason. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of this match. These two definitely can go. We go to Ava, who's in the woods somewhere. She has those two followers, those masked guys that took her, and they said they saved her from that Ivy Niles attack. And she tells Ivy that she tried to end her career, but she failed because she's a failure, just like the Creeds and just like the rest of the Diamond Mine, and tells Ivy if she wants to prove her wrong, she knows where to meet her as we pan up and we see them right in front of the Schism Tree. So how do you get to the Schism Tree? It's like outside the Performance Center, and you make a left at Fresco's, that restaurant they always eat at, and the barbershop is to the right, and I think right further down is the Schism Tree. I think that's like the NXT city landscape.
I don't know, man. The Schism Tree might be growing directly out of the parking lot. As dangerous as it is in there. So who knows? It might have just sprouted right out the concrete. Who knows?
You know how Universal Studios has like their tour, we can kind of go and see all the different things. They should definitely do like an NXT tour, and you take a little trolley through the parking lot, you pass the Schism Tree, you go to the barber shop, you go to all these different places, you go to the pool, the same pool that they always use. I think it's like Matt Cardona's pool. They always use the same pool whenever they film these segments. So I definitely want a little NXT
the car
tour.
that Braun Breaker and everybody else drove, the one
Dodge
Challenger.
Dodge Challenger, the same freaking car.
Yeah, you can take a picture with it
forever. What whose car it is? It's gonna be like Hunter's like car he just doesn't use. Like, yeah, whatever, it's left it there.
Yeah,
NXT, you guys can use it whenever.
Scott DeMore's car.
When we come back from break, we see Tiffany Stratton is in the ring, and she says that the summer of Tiff is coming to an end. And she, after all the wins that she's had, she kind of goes through all the different victories that she's had since winning the title here. And she said that she's only going to make this reign even better, and the title isn't going anywhere, and it will go down in history as one of the best NXT women champions of all time. Better than Bayley, better than Asuka, better than Becky Lynch. She didn't win the title, but we'll find out more about that later. And she says even better than Charlotte Flair's reign. Gigi Dolan interrupts her and tells her to do them a favor and shut the hell up. Says she might have the summer of Tiffany, but she's dying to see the fall of Tiffany. That was a pretty good line there, using the word fall in that sense. Tiffany says that if Gigi is shooting her shot, she's officially shooting it down, as Gigi does not deserve an opportunity. Gigi says that Tiffany doesn't deserve to be champion, and last time she defended the title, she tapped out. Kiana James comes out. Oh my God, this is one of those segments where everybody comes out and wants a title shot, isn't it? Kiana James comes out and says that Gigi doesn't deserve a title shot and tells Tiffany's Barbie wannabe ass that she does deserve it. Out comes Blair Davenport, who says they can argue about their fanciest materialistic possessions, their daddy issues, or who has the most social media followers, but she doesn't care about that crap. Blair says that she deserves to be next in line for the title. Gigi brings up Blair's trip to the convenience store and says that she would rather it be business bitch Kiana's head going through the can aisle. Blair comes back saying that she's going to pound Gigi's face so bad that her brother won't recognize her anymore. So like they're having all these little cheap shots at each other, just like referencing like things that happened this summer. It's like, oh yeah, the convenience thing. Oh yeah, Gigi's brother. It's like little reminders of like little things that's been happening, this season of NXT. Tiffany said that they need to figure this all out on their own, and she's going to leave. But as she leaves, Roxanne Perez comes out, pretty much just get in Tiffany's face and knocks her out. But she escapes out as all the four ladies start fighting. What did you think of the segment? I feel like whenever they don't have like an idea of what to do with the challenger, it's like, we'll just put four random people in there, and then whoever wins out of that's going to be the next challenger. But I feel like it's one of those like WWE tropes that they've always done, where it's like one person comes out, the next person comes out, the next person comes out. So yeah, what did you think of this segment?
It was okay. It was whatever. I didn't think it was needed on a Heatwave special, but it was. I don't know, dude, because it just announcing this fatal four-way, so I think they could have saved this announcement because it's not next week, right? Is it?
It is next week. Yeah, they announced it for next week. The fatal four-way. Yeah,
they could have put this on
I'm pretty sure the winner gets a title shot at No Mercy. So I guess they're just trying to like expedite things before they are the next PLE.
Yeah, they could have did this like on the social media. Something else could have went on this special edition of NXT this long. It was a long promo. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It was pretty long just to announce the Fatal 4-Way, but it was whatever. I don't mind Tiffany in the ring, and actually Gigi had some good lines, so I didn't mind it that much, but it wasn't needed.
Yeah, I have to admit, like, I've been watching Gigi's ever since her like Priscilla Kelly days down in the Evolve, and like she never was like the strongest on the mic.
Yeah.
But whenever she really got into like passionate about her promos, I feel like it definitely came out. And I feel like she definitely kind of seen better in this, kind of like, you know, being a little like angry towards Tiffany and kind of like saying some things to Kiana and whatnot. I feel like this is probably one of the best times she's been on the mic for sure. What do you think of the 4 people they selected here? I mean, these are probably 4 of the top stars, I would say, in NXT.
Yeah, I couldn't think anyone else to replace any of these girls that's not gonna be in this match, but yeah, I'm with it. I know, but Gigi's last couple outings wasn't as impressive.
Yeah,
but hopefully,
yeah.
Hopefully with a lot of more help in that ring, they can put something together nice. I'm hoping.
We go to the back where we see a session in the ring, a training session between Charlie Dempsey and Damon Kemp. And then Drew Gulak is kind of ringside giving them tips. And then Miles Bourne walks in and tells Gulak he has all the chores done. And Gulak asks him if he's tired. And Bourne says, no, I'm not tired. So Dempsey comes from behind him and puts a sleeper hold on him. And Gulak starts yelling at him to not tap out, as they don't get tired over here. So I guess this is like the young boy storyline here with Miles Bourne, and they're kind of like, you know, whipping him into shape here before he can officially join this new camp between them. We go to back to the schism tree, as Ivy now has shown up to confront Ava and tells her followers to attack her. And guess what? They don't move. And then these 2 people behind them that look just like the Creed brothers take off their mask, and guess what? It's the Creed brothers. Whoa. I did not expect this at all. They take out the camera guy and tell Schism that next week they will get a match with the Dyad. And if they win, they'll get reinstated in NXT, and it'll be a cage match. Now, I've seen wrestling my entire life. And whenever somebody has a loser leaves town match or a loser leaves NXT or WWE or whatever, as far as I know, you can't just like show up whenever you want and be like, hey, I'm going to make another match. I know I lost a match, but I'm going to make another match. And if I win, I get my job back. Like, I don't think it should be the Creeds announcing this. I think it should be Shawn Michaels. He should like have some sort of storyline reason, like, hey, we saw how you guys lost, the Schism cheated or whatever. So because of that, they're going to get another chance. Or at least like have the Creeds bring up, oh, we spoke to Shawn Michaels or whatever. But for them to just like say, we're just going to get another match, oh, willy-dilly, like we can run shot around here. That's not how it works. I'm sorry. I read these loser leaves town contracts, and you can't just make another match and get your job back. That's not how it works in the world of professional wrestling. But other than that, this is something that I think we expected, obviously, with the Creed brothers. I'm not sure if like they had maybe plans of them getting called up, or then for whatever reason they just decided not to, and they had to kind of work their way back into a storyline where they kind of stay back at NXT. Yeah. But like they didn't say like the Dyad gets out of NXT. It was just basically if Creeds win, they get their job back. That's all it was. There's no other like stipulation. And obviously it's a cage match, so that way they can keep the Schism out of the ring, which we know the cage never works. The cage,
no.
People always get in the cage.
The entire Schism is going to be surrounded the cage anyway, right? That's what we're expecting. But how do you just call your shot like that? You're not in the company anymore. So
I don't know. I need to know who their contract negotiators are that they were able to get this, because this is a pretty sweet deal.
Type booking here.
If you want to hear us talk more heels, definitely check out What Up Though.
Absolutely.
For the first season, we had a weekly weekly podcast reviewing heels on Turning Heels, but this year we decided to kind of like sum it up in What Up Though. So we did the first 3 episodes, and I want to say if we plan it out correctly, by the time we have another episode, we should be able to do the last 5 and kind of do a whole wrap up on the season. It should be like mid-September or so. So yeah, definitely check it out if you want to hear more about heels. We go to the metaphor where they're celebrating in the back. They're drinking champagne. They're putting the champagne in the Heritage Cup, but like I want to see them actually drink from the Heritage Cup, which they didn't do for some reason. It's like if you're gonna pour the champagne in the cup, you have to drink from the cup, right? That's what they do. And then this lady walks in and she serves Noam a paper, and Noam's like, no, I don't want any autographs. And she's like, no, this is not an autograph. This is from the Heritage Cup Committee. I'm like, what the fuck is the Heritage Cup Committee?
Who's on the committee?
I don't know. Johnny Saint, like I really don't know who would be running this Heritage Cup Committee. But
think Nigel's still on it?
No, I think Nigel's a little busy. Yeah, I think Nigel's a little busy.
Yeah, he's a little busy.
He doesn't care about this at all. So he's like, "Oh, here, my main man Mensa, go ahead and read it." And as soon as like it says like the winner of the match tonight, he's like, "What do you mean winner? I retained tonight. I retained it." But we find out that next week will begin the NXT Global Heritage Invitational 8-man tournament, where the winner will get a Heritage Cup title shot at the No Mercy PLE. And they all start celebrating, and Dar says he's celebrating because this means he doesn't have to defend his title in 5 weeks, which I thought was hilarious. Like, that's what he's happy about. He's happy about, like, I'm off the hook. I'm off the hook for 5 weeks. Now, when I hear the name Global Heritage, my first thought was the Cruiserweight Classic, how they brought in people from all these different countries and whatnot. So I hope that's the idea, because they kind of like hinted at the fact that we're going to be bringing people from all parts of the world. So I don't know if that's going to be like new people in NXT that just happen to be from different countries, or if like they're actually going to bring in talent that's not, you know, under contract, whatever. Because I think that'd be pretty awesome. Like bringing like a freaking, I don't know, somebody from Japan, somebody from a New Japan. If you're able to bring in like a Master Wato, I know it's not possible, but like imagine if they bring in like somebody from New Japan just for like one match or whatever. Just switch it up a little bit. Have NXT a little bit of a talking point where it's like, oh, next week you get to see like indie talent from Mexico, or, you know, somebody from Japan or somebody from elsewhere. Just like bringing these different names to come in. Like if you're going to call a global invitation, I feel like they kind of have to bring in some names that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, I mean, even dig into like US indies, like bring in like a Jordan Oliver or something. You know, like something like somebody like that that are like, oh, NXT match? I guess I'll turn on NXT this week, you know? So yeah, I'm digging that too. So I hope we get like some Triple I guys, you know, something.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you can put Dragon Lee in this tournament.
Oh yeah. You definitely have people on the roster that already like fit that mold, being like international, whatever.
Mold,
We're probably gonna see some like NXT UK guys that we like forgot were still under contract. Like Shaw Samuel's gonna show up. Like, what? Why is he here? Like Trent Seven or something. Like, why are these guys here? Like,
no.
We're gonna see like some NXT guys probably come out of this. Unfortunately, we go to the next match: Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio of the Judgment Day versus Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria. Dominik and Dragon Lee start the match. Before they start the match, I always wonder this. Like, you know how Rhea does a spot where she like whispers something in Dominik's ear? I feel like every week it's just like a joke, like a really stupid joke. Because like when she says it, Dominik legit like laughs. So I wonder if it's like she just goes through like a book of jokes, like stupidest like dad's jokes in the world, and just says one randomly to Dominik every week to try to make him like crack. And that has to be it, right? Like what else could he be saying?
Do like a little smile after.
Yeah,
I would think she's like, hey, look at that guy front row. You know,
that's another thing. It's like make like I was thinking that also, like making fun of people in the front row, like look at the guy to your left, like he's looking at the hat he's wearing.
Pretty much like lip singing all the lyrics this time on this entrance, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like that song now, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, Judgment Day is everywhere. Like I feel like they're taking a break with Bloodline, and now Judgment Day is going to be like on Raw, SmackDown, NXT. They're going to be like featured on the next pay-per-view and everything. So I'm totally for this. But the match itself starts with Dominik and Dragon Lee both going for pin attempts right away until Lee stuns Dom with a drop kick. Dom goes to tag out to Rhea, so Lyra has to come in. This is mixed match rules here. Rhea starts yelling that she tried to give Lyra advice, but she disrespected her. They go back and forth until Rhea backs away to the corner to avoid getting kicked and smacks Lyra down. This fires Lyra up as she starts punching and kicking away, but Rhea tags out to Dom during all this. He gets in Lyra's face, but Dragon Lee comes in, takes down Dom with a super kick. Lyra takes Dom and Rhea to the outside as Lyra and Dragon both take him out with a drop kick and a dive combination as we go to the break. When we come back, Rhea has Lyra in the middle of the ring, tied on the body scissors, but Lyra punches her way out. Lyra reverses a suplex into a DDT as Dragon and Dom tag in. Dragon goes right after Dom, draping him on the ropes for a top rope stomp for a 2. Dragon dodges a 619 attempt and hits a sit-up powerbomb, but Rhea comes in to break up the count. Lyra tries a Hurricane Rana on the outside, but Lyra catches her and slams her into the barricade. But as she's trying to go back to the ring, Raquel Rodriguez makes a surprise run in here as they do have a match coming up for Payback. And she takes out Rhea, and they fight all the way to the back. Back in the ring, Dragon Lee hits Dom with this, like, I'm not sure what he calls it, but it's basically like a running, jumping, reverse DDT to get the pin at 14 minutes and 7 seconds.
Yeah, that's Destino, right?
Is it a Destino? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty much Destino.
Not sure if he has a name for it. I don't know, Dragstino, something. I don't know. we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
We'll just call it Destino.
Yeah, nice little segment here. Obviously, keeping people reminded that Raquel is feuding with Rhea, so you still have that storyline going. That's like the reason. You know, I like how like Dominik cannot like win a match unless like Rhea's there to help him. So the fact that as soon as like she's gone, he just totally loses track of everything, and Dragon gets the win. But I think it's the right choice here, and definitely can continue this Lyra feud if you want to have like Lyra come up to the main roster, or, you know, have some revenge on Rhea, whatever the case is. But yeah, I think a nice little showcase here, and I like the constant usage of Judgment Day in all these shows, including NXT.
Yeah, this match was pretty good. I like that some of this match kind of looked a little sloppy with Rhea and Lyra, but it didn't really look sloppy if you think about it. It just looked like they were struggling for power. Like Lyra was trying to, I'm saying Lyra, but Lyra, she was trying to like show her that she's strong too. So it looked like more of a struggle for the strength, you know what I mean? More than sloppy, but she's looking pretty good. Of course, Rhea's looking amazing. She's killing everything right now from Raw to SmackDown to NXT. What more can I ask for from Dom? You know, like you said, he can't win a match without Rhea, so she has to stick around for him to keep this title. And what do you think? Do you think Dom is gonna lose his North American title anytime soon, or are we gonna just keep getting this interaction on NXT?
I mean, they set up this thing with Mustafa Ali, so I could probably see that match happening at No Mercy. But I feel like, I know Mug is gonna be upset, but I feel like Dominik could definitely retain there. And the fact that they tease like Rey Mysterio at NXT, but he didn't have actually wrestled yet. But now he's like the US champion, so maybe they could do something with Rey and Dominik fighting over North America or the US, whatever the case is. But I can see him hold on to the title a little bit more, especially if like they want to keep Judgment Day on NXT, and it makes perfect sense for having him being one of the champions. He kind of has to show up, so it gives him like storyline sense on why the Judgment Day keeps coming down to NXT. But yeah, I enjoyed this match. I definitely have a same trouble here pronouncing Lyra Valkyria's name sometimes, and I feel like Tony D'Angelo only messed me up earlier when he was like, "Yeah, Lyra Valkyria." And I was
That's
like,
right.
"Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. We'll go with that." We go backstage where Carmelo Hayes is getting ready for the main event tonight, and Trick Williams comes in. Carmelo says that Trick did his thing tonight, and Trick says that it's Hayes' first title defense without him by his side. And then Hayes, like, he doesn't mean it like in a negative sense, but he's like, yeah, last time I fought Dragunov at the Bash, there's a little asterisk next to my win because of what you did, and we just can't have that. We can't do that anymore. And this whole time, Trick is like eyeing the title that's there on the locker, and then he gets a little offended. He's like, "Oh, what do you mean? Like you don't want me by your side anymore? What's going on?" And Melo's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and just do your thing, and I'll do my thing," and just kind of walks away. But Trick picks up the title, looks at it a little bit more, and hands it to Carmelo. So it looks like I hope it's not like a heel turn for either one of these guys. I want them to like have a competitive match. Maybe have like Trick be a little pissed off at it, but like end it where he still has respect for him and he still bigs up his brother. You know what I mean? Like I don't want him to like feud, like blood feud.
Yeah, nope.
But definitely have a competitive match to the point where like Carmelo's like, listen, I've been seeing you bust your ass. You want a title shot? You got it, and just still keep this friendship going on. Because I don't want to see Trick turn heel. Like you know what I mean? Like he needs to stay how he is.
Absolutely not. It works that Trick is his second, but he can actually still wrestle. It works perfect. So yeah, I don't want to see these guys have this much tension. This little bit of story development between these two is enough. Like I don't need anything more than that.
The only way I can see this work, and I'm kind of like upset how they've been like handling it, but like since the Street Profits joined Bobby Lashley, I thought it was gonna be more of like a heel faction. Just the way they debuted them, like they kind of like beat up everybody. So they're gonna be heels, but then like the next week, Street Profits come out like nothing changed. They're just like they're still in the same gear and music. Like I'm like that's not really a direction change. I kind of was upset by that. So if they did like have a total like heel like character change with Lashley and the Street Profits, then maybe I could see Trick Williams like kind of being like persuaded to like leave Carmelo and go join them on the main roster and kind of like have Carmelo be offended by that. I can see that, but you still don't have to do like him just straight up turning on him to do that story. I feel like we go to the back where Mackenzie Mitchell is with Tiffany Stratton, who says that her mentions on Twitter or X are going crazy right now because she said that Becky Lynch was NXT champion. And of course she was not NXT champion, but Tiffany says that Becky is irrelevant. So well, we can get into it now, but they later on say that Becky basically put up a tweet saying, "Oh yeah, I'm not NXT Women's Champion just yet." So I wonder if like this slip up was done on purpose, like with her mentioning Becky, so they can lead to like an actual match. But I feel like now they kind of have to with Becky having this tweet reaction to it. I feel like Becky has to come down to NXT and do a match between Becky and Tiffany Stratton. So I mean, I wouldn't do it for the No Mercy show, but maybe like on an upcoming episode of NXT, just have Becky come down here and do it. But yeah, what do you think? You think this was like an actual slip up that she mentioned Becky, or this was all done on purpose to build this to this actual match?
I think it's a build. I mean, because what else is Becky doing right now? You know what I mean? So
feuding with Trish, have a cage
that's
match
still going on, right?
Yeah. So after that, she'll probably be free to do something else. So yeah.
Yeah, that can just plant the seeds right now. I can take that because it'll last until after No Mercy. So yeah, just plant the seeds right now, and then later on down the line, Beck shows up, big beatdown. It's on for the title.
Honestly, if they want to like introduce Tiffany to the main roster, put her with Trish. Have Tiffany be like backup Trish and have her help beat Becky Lynch that way. That way, like if Tiffany does drop the title, let's just say to Roxanne or whoever the case is, and No Mercy, show up on Raw the next day and actually be like on Trish's corner and have Trish with Tiffany and and Zoe Stark. A little stable going on there. I feel like that would be good for Tiffany to kind of have her attached to somebody like Trish.
Yeah, like Trish mentoring it too. Yeah, I like that.
And during this segment, we also get the confirmation that next week it will be a 4-way match between Roxanne, Blair, Gigi Dolan, and Kiana. Who do you see winning that match? I was gonna say Roxanne, but after looking at the lineup and after the way she kind of presented herself, I think Gigi might actually win this and get the title shot.
It seemed more like a Gigi Tiffany feud than anything. So yeah, Gigi.
We see highlights of last week where Andre Chase's distraction caused Jacy Jayne to beat Thea Hale. And then we see, still from last week after the match, Thea's backstage pleading to the referee, saying that the match shouldn't count. The referee says, "I'm sorry, it counts. You lost the match." Jacy Jayne walks in and she's being like a little bit more like babyface here. And she admits that she fought a beast tonight. And says this is the same Thea Hale who walked into the locker room a year ago, and gives her some advice and says that people like us always get through this. What does she mean, people like us? Ooh, like
no idea.
I look at Jacy Jayne, I look at Thea Hale. I don't see any. There's only one obvious like thing that they both are, but like they don't seem like the same type of person or character. So I'm not sure where Jacy Jayne was going with this people like us thing. I'm like, I don't think Jacy Jayne sat at the same lunch table as Thea Hale and Chase U at all. Like it was a little off by this. And then I'm not sure if this is just Jacy just like messing with her head, because she definitely seems more of a heel character. I wouldn't turn Jacy babyface, especially like something like this. So I feel like this might just be Jacy just kind of fucking with Thea's mind a little bit.
But people like us, what do we get here? What do we?
I don't know.
Is it something that we don't know about Thea? Does she have like some kind of dark past or something? Like what is? I don't.
Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder just popped in my head. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
That's something that popped in my head. I was just like, what does that mean? Like I have no idea what that means.
Even Vic asked that on the commentary. Like what is she talking about? So
like,
we're all confused.
What do you mean? People that like had AEW dark matches? Like I don't. What do you mean by people like us? Like this, what's the connection here? You guys both signed to? I don't know. This is really weird. I never understood this.
Dark matches.
I don't see any of the connection. I don't think Jacy Jayne even was on AEW dark, but a lot of these girls were.
Oh, okay.
We go to the next match, or do we? We're supposed to get Von Wagner versus Baron Corbin, but as Von is making his entrance here, Corbin attacks him from behind, and he's sporting some new gear here that Vic calls like Christ. Harlem Heat type gear. And Booker's like, no, don't say that. That's a Heatwave gear. Don't say Harlem Heat. To me, it looked more like
it was like, Bam Bam.
I was gonna say Bam Bam, and like
yeah.
It doesn't help that Baron has a shaved head, but it definitely gave me like Bam Bam Bigelow vibes. Shout out WrestleMania 11. But like that's definitely the vibes that I got out of this. It was kind of weird. You can't wear this and again, right? It's just for Heatwave. You can't like wear this next week.
Finish the match. Yeah, you didn't do a match.
You didn't have a match.
Baron, like a couple weeks ago, I think I was in the group chat and I praised him. I said this might be his best gear ever, and it took him a long time to do it. This is up there with the worst. Like. And how do you make Bam Bam's scheme look bad? Like he has on the sleeve. What is up with the shooting sleeve? Are you Allen Iverson? It was like regular pants with like just the like the Bam Bam flames, and it had the double B's. Cool. Yeah, the BC or Baron Corbin.
Actually, I had to look the pictures because when I was in Detroit, went to the WWE Superstore and they had like Bam Bam's outfit there. I'm like, this is the same outfit that they had there. Did you just like take it? I'm like, if people can see, like. That's the Bam Bam outfit that was over in Detroit. I'm like, did Baron Corbin just take it and that's like customize it a little bit?
But it looked like he had on like regular black joggers with a Bam Bam sticker down the legs, and I was like, what is he wearing? What is Baron Corbin wearing? He knocked it out of the park like 2 weeks ago, and then just to go back to first base. All right, dude, come on, let's start again.
So Von Wagner and Bam Bam Corbin, the match never starts here as they keep brawling on the outside. They go against the steel steps. They go against the barricades. Corbin even tries to go after Mr. Stone, but Von stops him, and he's about to put him through the table. But Braun Breaker comes out of nowhere and spears Von. And of course, he has a shirt that says "Best Spear in the Business." So shots fired here. Take that, Edge. Take that.
Take that,
Roman Reigns. take that, Moose.
Take that,
Ricky Starks. Camille. There's a lot of people use spears. Charlotte. That's spear in the business, but it was like one of those like custom shirts that like NXT just gets like these like deals and
press-ons. Yeah. But what is Braun's purpose to jumping into this though?
I don't know.
Besides showing off his new Jordans, he had a nice pair of Jordans.
He's been feuding with Von, I guess. But like, I thought that feud was done. Like I feel like they weren't feuding anymore. I guess they still are. I don't know. It's got to lead to like some sort of tables match between all three of them, right? Like we didn't get to see the table spot. We saw a table spot later on in the show, but between these guys, there was no table spot. No table for one for Vaughn. So yeah, maybe we're leading to some sort of triple threat match at the what's the next show at No Mercy.
No Mercy. Yeah.
But I don't know. Braun, I guess, is still. I feel like Braun is just like lingering until like they're ready to bring him up to the main roster, because like it keeps like every time we think, oh, he's just gonna disappear, get called up. No, he's still here. He's still hanging, and he keeps coming out of nowhere just through the crowd, spearing people every week. It's just like, dude, like, guess something else.
He's a lot of NXT X champions have this period when they just linger around after, and then like because the rightful person who's supposed to take the belt next takes the belt, and then it's just like, what do I do until the next after Mania or something like that? But we expected to see Braun go up like after like the last two big WWE PLEs. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do with the guy. But I don't mind seeing Braun. I like Braun Breaker, so I don't mind seeing him. But if they want to do this triple threat, this three big horses, why not?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, like they could bring him in for like Survivor Series. That could be like a good show to like debut him at. If you want to wait till Rumble, it's a little ways off, but you could obviously bring people in the Rumble and do it that way and have him have like a spear off or something in the Rumble.
Yeah, he's probably just waiting till the Rumble, to be honest.
At this point, right?
Yeah.
We go to the Schism and they are mad. They're upset at what the Creeds did, but they definitely agreed to the match for next week and it said they're going to end it once and for all. We see highlights of last week of Eddie Thorpe costing Dijak his match against Wes Lee. So Dijak calls out Thorpe and says that in 7 days, tells him to come with the spirits because he won't only break his body next week, but he'll also break his spirit, as I guess we'll be having Dijak versus Eddie Thorpe. This is when we see the tweet from Becky Lynch saying that I haven't been NXT Women's Champion just yet. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's going to lead to a match now after this.
Yeah, definitely.
We go to the main event for the NXT Championship. Carmelo Hayes defense against Wes Lee. We have one of those videos on the Tron here, and this shows Wes Lee's jersey being burned during Melo's entrance as we see Waterfall washing it all away. I guess it's like some line. I thought Vic Joseph was mentioning something about waterfalls. I guess a line that they must have said on the promo. So I guess it's like the way of the waterfall washing over the.
He said, "Don't go chasing waterfalls." He did the TLC line.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was actually this was one of the dopest jersey burning graphics he's had so far. So I really like this jersey in the Raptor thing that Carmelo has going on. It's really dope.
I was so mad when I saw this. I'm like, damn, when I had my feud with Fire Frank, I should have had Dickie Bird make a video where it's like Fire Frank and a water bucket just like extinguishing him or something. I don't know.
You didn't beat him, so you can't.
Anyway, so we go to the match and
all right.
Actually, at this point, really cool note here. Vic Joseph mentions this is the first time that two black men have competed in the main event for the NXT Championship. Yeah, really cool moment. I didn't realize it was two men in the main event for the NXT Championship. There was also a black referee, and we also have B-Detroit having a review here. So it's like everything's just matching up right here. Booker T mentions how he was there when Doug Williams was the first black coach to win the Super Bowl. He was also there when Ron Simmons won the World Championship. So definitely a big moment here, as Booker T expresses. They start the match going back and forth until both hit drop kicks and kip up at the same time. So it's kind of like the idea here is they're both kind of like, matching each other with the moves and doing it the same thing. They start trading forearms as Hayes hits a Spanish fly as they go to commercial. We come back and I don't know, Booker T is on one as always. And he's talking about how like when you're champion, you get all the hottie biscottis. And I'm just like, I don't know if Wes Lee's wife wants him to win the title now. I don't know if he wants any biscottis hanging on to him, but I don't know. You ever think Charmel just like, when Booker T comes home, hey, how was work tonight? It was good. And Charmel's like, hey, I listened to you on commentary. What's his deal with the biscottis? Like, how many biscottis have you had?
Crowd a couple weeks
ago. Yeah, she was probably just monitoring him. She's like, making sure.
Probably a gorilla, like with the headset on, like, okay. I got
making sure like fucking credit card, keep getting these Grubhub charges on my credit card. Like, damn, Booker, like cut it out. I'll bring you food, Booker. Like, I'll bring you food. You don't have to buy Fresco's every week. We go back to the match where Hayes and Wes are fighting in the corner as Melo hits the fadeaway fadeaway leg drop, and then Hayes continues on the attack and hits a super kick for a 2. Wes comes back and hits a Meteora, a super kick, heads to the top rope, hits a twisting dive, and gets a 2 count. Melo dodges a cardiac kick and hits a cutter, followed by the first 48 for a 2. They start fighting on the outside as Hayes places Wes on the commentary table and does like a springboard backwards into a DDT to Wes to go through the table. This was sick. When I first saw it, I thought he just like I don't know, like clotheslined him or did something, but I have to go back and he got the formation and actually twisted from the rope springboarding, hit the DDT into the table. So we did get our table spot. But yeah, this is sick. This is crazy.
That was wild. I didn't know what happened at first because I blinked and I'm like, okay, somebody died. What happened now?
They have to add this to the next year's video game if they haven't already. Like this needs to be like this is a video game spot. 100%.
It's the most video game spot I've ever seen in my life.
They go back inside where Wes hits the cardiac kick, but Melo escapes to the outside. Wes goes to dive on him, but he misses and goes like headfirst into the barricade. Now, it looked like it was supposed to be like actually crashed through it because if you look at it, it looks kind of gimmicky. It looks like it kind of broke apart, but I feel like Wes might have fell short, and I feel like he was supposed to like dive and go through the barricade, but he just fell short. But it still looked pretty devastating because he just literally just plopped right into it.
More real that he just cracked it in half a little bit. Like you had more concern for him rather than him going right through it. You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like if you would have went through it, it would have been a little bit too much. Like, okay, this is like too much. But it was just enough to kind of fall for the idea that he actually might get counted out because he was just getting up and just made it right before the 10 count. But as soon as he gets in, Melo hits nothing but net from the top to get the pin at 11 minutes and 40 seconds to retain the NXT Championship. I think this match was great. I have to go back, but I feel like I enjoyed the Dragunov trick match, I think, a little bit more. But these two, I feel like when I saw the time, I'm like, oh, they don't have that much time left. I feel like they should have definitely, if this match would have been on like No Mercy, like, and would have got like 18 to 20 minutes, I think it definitely would have showcased a little bit more. But this was definitely sick. The spot to the outside with the table, the ending spot with going through the barricade and get a hit. This match was great. I just feel like I like the Dragunov trick match a little bit more, but this match was definitely up there.
Yeah, this match was nothing less than what I thought it would be. Like then that table spot was one of the most innovative table spots I've ever seen. So yeah, this match was amazing. These guys crushed it. Being that they were the first two black men to have a main event on NXT television, which I didn't even know. I thought that had been happened already. That was cool. They had Booker T doing commentary with a black referee, and I'm doing a review for it. But no, it was a good match, man. Like I said, this is what we expect of these two. We already know that Carmelo Hayes is Carmelo Hayes. He's him, and Wes Lee is that guy. So, man, I want to see part two. Even though Wes didn't win, I want another one. I think just to cap it off, because somebody has to go up eventually. They gotta do it one more time with more time.
I wouldn't be opposed to a 4-way for No Mercy between Melo, Wes, Trick, and Dragunov. Because I think
that'd be too many 4-ways.
You think so? I don't know.
Yeah, because the ladies already got that's
no. The ladies don't have a 4-way. Yeah, so I feel like if you make that the only like multi-man match, I think it's good because like I don't want to go to Trick and Melo already. Like I feel like that's too quick. Yeah. Dragunov and Melo, I feel like we just got. Unless you do Wes and Melo again, maybe do like a stipulation. I want to say
Melo should be like a TV special type thing, though. That feud with the boys. So I don't know, but 4-way wouldn't be bad. But I definitely want to see these two go again. Like like you said, 15 to 18 minutes. It would have really kicked into that next gear around that time.
You know who's somebody who's been hanging around because I keep seeing him posting pictures of him being down in Florida, and I know he signed with them. Maybe they're gonna introduce him in the Global Heritage Tournament, but a one Brian Pillman Jr. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of like put him in the main title picture right away. He has history with WWE with his dad and everything. I feel like he has a name value to it. Like I kind of half expected him to come out at the end of this, like, oh, they can't just have two black men main event. You got to have a white man come in and kind of ruin it for everybody. So I was half expecting Brian Pillman to come in and just like take out Carmelo at the end and just set up a feud. But it didn't happen. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like Pillman is either in this Heritage Cup as an introduction or just kind of skyrocket him and kind of put him, put the Rocky behind him and kind of have him in the main event picture. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Cup will be a great way to introduce Pillman. Is he any word of him being like his name staying Brian Pillman Jr.?
I would think so. Like usually in NXT at least they let you keep your name, especially if you have. Actually, no, I can't say that because they changed Von Wagner and Braun Breaker, didn't they? Oh yeah.
Braun Breaker didn't he prefer to change his?
I think so, but I feel like Pillman, like he just embodies his dad. Like he is his dad in his characters.
Exactly like him too. So
I hope his name isn't like Lewis, like Lou Cannon.
Oh Jesus.
Lou C. Cannon. Lou
Cannon.
Lou Cannon debuting here. No relation to Lucky Cannon back from NXT.
Cannon.
Luke Cannon. I don't know. I really hope they don't give him like a stupid name or something. But
I hope not. I think Hunter let him beat Brian Pillman Jr.
I hope so. At least like an NXT, and then if they want to change his name or whatever, they might do the opposite for Braun Breaker. They might bring him up, and all of a sudden he's Braun Steiner or something. Who knows? Like it's weird. Like they like always change their stance when it comes to like names and everything. But yeah, I'll definitely like to see him like introduced this way in the tournament and kind of like keep like I feel like the one thing like AEW was many things that they kind of fumbled the ball on, but the one thing I always stands out to me is after that Dark Side special, like they had him like jobbed to MJF, like had a little bit of a feud, and that was pretty much it. Like they didn't really do anything with him. They kind of had him in the Hollywood Blondes, and then that kind of ended, and that was pretty much it. Like I feel like they could have definitely capitalized off of having Pillman there, and too many people there. I feel like, but I feel like at NXT, he could definitely like shine and kind of like get his name a little bit more notoriety, I think.
Yeah, I mean they already got they have if it's confirmed that they have Brian Pillman, they have Braun Breaker, you got Charlie Dempsey. You got a bunch of guys that are second generation over there.
Are you saying they're gonna do Legacy 2.0?
Oh, gee. I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. Cody can bring them all up and just,
Honestly, that'd be a pretty cool like heel faction to like take out Cody. Like now until WrestleMania, like all this time.
New Legacy.
Like why not have a new Legacy? It makes sense. Like, or you could do it to a point where like you think Cody's gonna be the leader, like he's gonna introduce these guys, and they'll just turn on him right away. Like have a segment on Raw where Cody's like, these are the sons. This is Braun Steiner and Von Beverly and Luke Cannon and all these guys, and like they just turn on him, and then he gets kind of like
Charlie Regal,
Charlie Blackpool. These are all guys, second generation, and just have them like attack him and like kind of like like Nexus style or Shield style, and that'd be a cool way. Like he was originally like under Orton, and I have like Cody like have to battle these guys, maybe even bring in like Randy Orton back to have.
He's trying to give him advice, like, hey, they're doing the same thing I did to you guys. So, yeah, that'd be pretty dope.
But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the show. I think it was pretty strong. There wasn't really like any match that like stunk up the joint. Obviously with the short match between Ava and Ivy, we didn't have a match with Vaughn and Baron, but that was basically a segment. Even the tag match was good between Judgment Day, Dragon Lee, and Lyra. Trying to think what else happened on this show. Yeah, the opener was really good between Dragunov and Trick. The main event was awesome between Carmelo and Wes. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the show. Whenever they have like these like specials, like these non-PLE but still called something else specials, I feel like they definitely make them feel special for sure.
So what do you think about like the opening segment with Tony D'Angelo? Do you think we're gonna bring Big Ange into the fold of the family?
I hope so. I really do. Yeah, because she definitely when I first saw her, she looked just like Gia Miller, who does like the commentary for Impact. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, why is she here? I'm like, wait, it's not her. And I'll be honest with you, I had no idea who she was. I knew all the other ones. I recognized them from like Level Up and whatnot, but I didn't recognize her. I had to actually look her up. And her name was Anna Kiefer, and she's like, I guess, a new signee. But I don't know if that's her actual voice, but if it's not, she hit that spot on. Like they need her.
I was gonna say, like, I can't not hear her as like the Italian chick now. Like she nailed it. She sounds like one of the guys. So I was like, all right, bring her into the family. Why not?
I wouldn't be like if they make her like Big Ange D'Angelo or something, and like have her like the sister or the cousin of Tony D, something like that. Definitely bring her to the fold. Like kind of similar to like when Big Cass and Enzo had Carmella, and originally Carmella was like this type of character. She was like a Staten Island, like I think she was like a hairstylist or something, and she had a very thick accent. She kind of had the same attitude, and then she kind of did her own thing after that. But yeah, I wouldn't be like opposed. I've always like said they should like bring in like a female to be with them. Originally, I thought of the girl from Women of Wrestling, Valentina Gambino, I think is her name. Adriana Gambino, sorry. Like she would be perfect for that role because she has a whole Italian Sopranos look. But if they want somebody in their own system, this girl is for it, honestly. Like she has the voice. I'm not she doesn't even have to wrestle. Like if she doesn't know how to wrestle, fine. Keep her there for now as like a character, and have them feud with like Judgment Day and all these like factions. They always have like a strong female with them. I feel like you have Diamond Mind, you have Schism. So yeah, why not have this Big Ange join Tony D'Angelo and Frank too. Fire Frank Sulo. He should also join.
Fire Frank, Big Ange, Tony D'Angelo. Dimes back. He already got Stacks.
There we go. That's our cast for our Italian wedding. That I'm.
And you're booking the whole thing, so just keep it off.
NXT Italian wedding, coming soon.
My big NXT Italian wedding.
Frank is enjoying some pretzels on his lunch. That's not really been an Italian thing to have, is pretzels. I don't know. That's never really been like it. You got to eat like pistachios, Frank. You got to eat like almonds. That's a really Italian snack. We don't eat pretzels. What's a pretzel? You know?
Come on, yeah.
I was
ahead.
gonna say, anything else you want to say about the show before we move on to feedback?
No, just want to say congratulations to Wes Lee, man. To Carmelo Hayes and Wes Lee for putting on a great show and being the first two black guys to main event NXT. That was, like I said, history I didn't even know was being made. That was dope.
And I want to say Big E was backstage because I saw a photo of Big E and Carmelo both holding their titles, the old NXT title, the new title, kind of standing next to each other. That's a pretty cool moment there. Shout out to Big E. I mean, it looks like the more and more you think about it, the more it looks like he unfortunately won't be coming back. But they need to use this guy any way they can. Commentary, manager, something like this guy is a special man for sure. And just having him down at NXT just with these guys, I think will be a good benefit to anybody involved.
Yeah, he was in Detroit for like 2 months before SummerSlam. He was just basically living here. He's a great guy, man.
So we're gonna go to some feedback here, and we start with Cameron, who says, first of all, what a great pairing to cover Braden and Davie. Thank you, Cameron. Solid PLE, not a PLE, but close enough. Solid PLE that mixed developmental wrestling with polished banger matches. Dragunov versus Trick. Trick stepped up and put on a show solid match. Mixed tag match. Lyra looked fantastic against one of the best in the business, Rhea, not Dom. Noam versus Frazer, banger, both look great. The women's segment was awkward on the mic, but they got TV time and just need reps. All have potential in the ring and are better talkers than when they started. Roxy sounded great. Same with Ivy and Ava. Was it great? No, but they got to start somewhere. It's only 2 minutes. Wes versus Melo was really good, but I think a rematch with more time would be better. Maybe a triple threat at No Mercy by Ilja. I agree. NXT is on a hot streak. Every show leaves you feeling positive. Also, Becky coming on to NXT. Why not? I love the mix of experience and green talent. It's working so well. Take care, both of you. Thank you so much for that, Cameron.
Thank you. I didn't have the feedback. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. We go to Muggin, who says it was sink or swim for Trick Williams. To his credit, he kept his head above water. Would it be a stretch to say that Ilja Dragunov is NXT's best bout machine? Heritage Cup has become a crutch for Noam Dar. Was kind of hoping he'd move on from it into more traditional wrestling, like the North American title. More on that in a second. The women's title was okay. What gave me pause was that Tiffany name-dropped Becky Lynch, who never held the NXT women's title. I love that Roxanne Perez's continued maturity didn't sacrifice her innate likability. Sounds like she could be next up for Stratton and No Mercy. The mixed tag match played out the way I hoped it would. When you remove Rhea from the picture, Dom is beatable. We totally agree with that, Muggin. Absolutely. Dragon Lee pinning the champion earns himself a rematch in Bakersfield to put an end to his Judgment Day experiment in NXT. Lyra also got elevated too. Greater things lie ahead. I bet she'll be NXT Women's Champion by year's end. Melo and Wes was good. That DDT through the table was nuts and it left room for a rematch. The backstage skit with Trick eyeing the title planted seeds for a match between them. I feel like I'm reading my notes here, Muggin. You're like everything. And then he had a little asterisk here. I have to go back. He has little notes here. So he had put an asterisk next to Becky Lynch's name, and the asterisk represents that the name drop in Becky has to be by design. Tiffany better up her mic skills because she'd get eaten alive by the man if she ever makes a pit stop at NXT. Glad y'all are holding down the fort. Thank you so much, Morgan.
I absolutely agree. I think that Becky is too far ahead on the microphone to even step in NXT just yet against Tiffany. Because, Tiffany sounds good on the mic, but she's not Becky Lynch level. She's going to chew her up. And Becky's so good at one-liners, that crowd is going to be chanting whatever she says about Tiffany. So before they even do this, we got to make sure we got something written really nice for Tiffany to go against Bex. Because that girl can call it on the fly, man.
Yeah, for sure. Becky's not going to take any of her shit. She's going to break that Barbie doll in half.
She's going to kill her.
We lastly go to Frank. Fire Frank says, first of all, congrats on the spot, Siino and BSK is family. Really enjoyed the Trick Ilja match. Trick going down fighting made him look even more of a star. They've got something in him, and Ilja never had a bad match, so this was captivating. The Heritage Cup match, Dickie Bird told me in confidence it was his match of the year. See, I told you, Dickie Bird loved the Heritage Cup.
Loved it.
It was predictably chaotic, and the rightful champ is back on his throne. Maybe Ava shouldn't have gone around with two dudes in masks when they were still looking for the creeds. The cage match should be great, though. The historic main event was a great taste of what a longer match between Melo and Lee could be. The table spot the table spot, though. What a year it's been for Lee since his partner mysteriously disappeared and nobody remembered his name or the team name. Frank, his partner is on Impact Wrestling every week on Thursday. I'm not sure if you have seen that show. He stepped up and became a single star we hoped he would be. Vaughn, Braun, and Corbin triple threat. Chris Leone, hope so. Unfortunately, Dirty Don was cheated just like when he had to do time because of his deadbeat dad. Damn, Frank woke up violent today.
Shows violence.
Anyways, I don't want to fully recap the show you just recapped. That legit made me pop. So I'll leave you with one more congrats on the guest spot. You're more than holding down the fort for the BDE. This one's for you. You want it. You got it. B and Siino telling you the NXT truth. Shout out Frank, and thank you for the $2 super chat here. It looks like he said shout out Hudson Cafe and Detroit House of Pancakes. So we have to split this half
in Detroit.
We split this, man. So you get $1, I get $1, and that starts my school supplies fund.
Speaking of school supplies, coming in from the bosses, hot off the presses. Braden wants us to promote, and we're going to promote this because this is great. This is a great cause, man. At the House of at the Man Lucha show tomorrow, they'll be doing a school supply drive. Ooh. And you can drop off your donations right at the show at the Man Lucha. It'll be from on August 24th to the 28th. They'll be taking donations. So if you want to drop off some backpacks, lunch bags, pencil cases, anything school supplies, you can drop them off at the Man Lucha show, or you can drop them off at the Art Academy from the 20th to the 28th. So yeah, it's a great cause, man.
Also, definitely a great cause. And yeah, the Demand Lucha show tomorrow is actually Demand Lucha versus House of Glory, which is really cool. Like the fact that, like, I know they mentioned this before, but it's basically like the BDE's like local wrestling fed fighting like the local fed that me and Frank go to. We just came back from a House of Glory show. Really cool. Unfortunately, Eddie Kingston, I don't know if he got pulled at the last minute from a certain somebody to not be on the show, but unfortunately he was not on the show. But we did get Masha Slamovich instead. We had Hiroshi Tanahashi was there, which was pretty sick, fighting Matt Cardona. I got to meet Tanahashi and speak to him a little bit. I told him, thank you so much for fist bumping Brandon from New Jersey. And he's like, he couldn't stop talking about it. He's like, oh my God, Brandon from New Jers's ever since that spot, everybody's talking about me on Twitter and everybody wants to fist bump me and be part of Brandon. And I fist bumped him, and we're just going to continue this fist bumping. And then later on in the show, when it took him 27 minutes to put the steel cage up, Tanahashi's like right next to me at the bar, just chilling, watching the main event jump off the steel cage. But shout out to the main event. They're the new House of Glory tag team champions, and they'll be wrestling tomorrow as well against Los Medicos at the Demand Lucha versus House of Glory show. But yeah, definitely good thing you brought up here with the school supplies drive. So make sure you can support any way you can.
That's right. If you're checking out the House of Glory show, make sure you bring some school supplies down. Pencil cases, book bags, lunch boxes, whatever you got. Help the kids out. It's for the kids. I know Braden likes to say fuck them kids, but not here.
We don't say that.
We're supporting the kids. We say for the kids. I got nieces, nephews, a whole bunch of them. So support the kids, man.
BSK stands for being students, kids. Anyway, so there's a big
you got it. That was good enough.
There's I don't know if you noticed, but there's a show this Sunday in London, Ontario. No, London, UK, London. It's called All In.
It's a little show.
Yeah. So do you want to go over this show? There actually is a card now, believe it or not.
Absolutely.
And it's not complete yet, because the last I heard, there's still some additions that could be probably announced tonight on Dynamite, and there could also be some changes. Supposedly, there might be some issues with certain talent getting there. But as it stands right now at 12 p.m. on Wednesday morning, this is the card, and it starts with
like we always hook up before Dynamite, and then we get our bubble busted right at the end of the night.
We'll make a predictions, and then they'll just totally throw it out the window by
exactly.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
But hopefully you'll hear this before Dynamite, before all this makes zero sense to you. Right. But on the 0 hour, on the pre-show at 12 p.m. Eastern, we have Aussie Open defending the Ring of Honor World Championships against Adam Cole and MJF. Better than you, baby. What do you think's going to happen in this match? Or do you get a title change? Is it just set up a big angle? Like, what's coming out of this match?
Hopefully they don't win the titles, and hopefully they turn on each other. Well, I'm thinking Adam Cole turns on MJF somehow, baby facing MJF. So him and Punk stories can kick off, and of course Punk is going to be the biggest heel in fucking wrestling then.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like with all this tease with the Kingdom and Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, I feel like they're just going to help Adam Cole here.
Absolutely.
I feel like they're gonna drop the titles, and then it's gonna be a total beatdown, a bloody. I would have like a bloody beatdown on MJF, like just bloody to the point where it's like this stuff cannot even be monetized on YouTube. How are we showing this? And then that's gonna just drive people at the last minute. Okay, I have to watch the show now. You know, I have to see this main event. What's going to happen here? So yeah, I see it's gonna be one of those things where Aussie Opens retains with some shenanigans, and it's going to lead to an angle. Because as far as I know, there's no other matches on the pre-show just yet. I'm sure by the time you hear this, there'll be a 35-man battle royal announced or something. But yeah, I feel the same way. It's just, I think it's just an angle. Like, why else would you do this match? You're not going to put the titles on them. I mean, they could, but that doesn't make any sense, really. We go to the main card. We start with the real AEW World Championship. CM Punk defends the real championship against Samoa Joe. Yeah. What do you think of this match? What's going to happen here?
Of course, Punk loses. I don't see any funny business. I mean, no, but I don't see any funny business, but Punk wins, though. Punk wins with an okay match. You know, I think the crowd is going to get this match over more than the guys will have to work. The crowd's going to do most of the work for these people. But I'm not mad at Samoa Joe keeping his ROH belts, so I don't want him to have the AEW championship. So, of course, Punk wins this one.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like this actually might start the main show, and then Punk wins, and then maybe have some sort of angle at the end where you set up the real, you know, the Undisputed Championship match for the following week between whoever the champion is and CM Punk. But I guess we can jump
that 80,000 seater to set up.
Yeah.
Imagine.
So let's actually jump to that match really quick so we can kind of like talk about what might happen All Out. But for the main event, we have Adam Cole defending against MJF. Do you see a title change here? Do you see MJF retaining and fighting CM Punk in a rematch at All Out? Or do you see Adam Cole versus CM Punk? How do you see this playing out?
Nope. After Cole turns in the opener, MJF wins. And Punk MJF face off, I guess. You know, that's pretty much what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the same way. We're gonna get I feel like we're gonna get a lot of angles, just like setting up
everything's
the matches for the following week and whatnot.
Which, you know what? If you're setting up a lot of shit in front of all these people, why not? They're gonna be going crazy. I guess that'll be great for the video packages.
I agree. We have a Fozzy performance here, performing Judas. That's going to lead into the match. Yeah, they announced that Fozzy's going to perform at Wembley, just Judas. So I'm guessing they're going to perform it, and then Jericho's going to be all out of breath as he has his match against Will Ospreay right after.
He's going to be blown up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's probably one of his dreams to perform, you know, in Wembley, just like all his favorite bands did. So why not? This is the only chance Fozzy's ever going to have probably to perform at Wembley. So why not? Why not do one song at least?
I would love to be in that meeting where Jericho's trying to convince TK, like, come on, dude. I mean, if you just do one song and get out of there, like, I get it.
I feel like because of him performing, that's going to be his reasoning for losing this match against Ospreay.
Oh, yeah. I can explain. Yeah.
I feel like Ospreay is definitely going to go over here and then possibly lead to some sort of like multi-man match at All Out, or maybe have like the Jericho Appreciation Society maybe like involved some way. But who do you see coming out of this? Do you see Ospreay as well, or do you think Jericho's going to squeak a victory out?
Nah, I don't think. I think Jericho's done getting over. I think he's going to let Ospreay pin him. But because if Jericho wins, who does that benefit? You know what I mean?
Nobody.
This match really doesn't benefit anybody winning because it's just a random, match basically. So yeah,
especially if you want to do Ospreay and Omega 3, like you definitely want to keep Ospreay like strong and like AEW viewers.
He can't lose to Chris Jericho and then we like, oh, I can't wait to see him fight Omega again. Like, why? He just lost to Jericho.
We have the Stadium Stampede match. As of right now, it is Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, Eddie Kingston, Penta, and Ray Phoenix, and Orange Cassidy, 6-on-6 versus Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Willie Yuta of the Blackpool Combat Club, as well as 3 mystery partners. But it has been reported that Ray Phoenix is having some visa issues, so it looks like, unfortunately, he might not be able to make the trip, which kind of explains this match tonight between John Moxley and Ray Phoenix. So I feel like it's going to be some sort of angle where they just totally bloody and destroy Phoenix to the point where he's out of the match. So at that point, does it become 5-on-5, or do we have like another partner coming in on their team? So first of all, let's start with like the mysteries here. Like who do you see on the 3 or 2 people on Blackpool Combat Club side? And also, do you see somebody replacing Ray Phoenix?
Dude, I have no idea who they're going to put on this side. Like these 3 opponents could be anybody, but I don't think it's going to be anybody like super surprising. I don't think it's going to be somebody I just couldn't think of at the moment, but I have no idea, dude, because if they're having visa issues with Ray Phoenix, who knows who can make it the trip? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and when are they plan on announcing who's
I think they're going to keep it till the show, unless they announce it tonight. I feel like they're going to keep it at the show. So I feel like if you're going to keep it at the show, it needs to be like a pretty big surprise. Like, no offense to like Santana or Ortiz, but I don't know, they're going to get a big reaction. Probably, yeah, because I feel like Wembley's is going to pop for anybody that night. But I feel like that's not really like a mystery thing. So I feel like my idea is Santana and Ortiz are going to be involved in this somehow. But I feel like if that's the case, they might have to announce that tonight at this point.
Shout out Frank. He says Luther is going to replace Phoenix, and he knows I love Luther.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Those are the 3 partners for the Blackpool Combat Club. Could be Luther, Serpentico, and Helico, the Spanish Announce Project.
Spanish Announce Project.
The BCCSAP. Down with OPP.
Yeah, it's a lot of letters to put on a shirt.
So I'm looking at the math here. So Rey Fenix is injured. So that's 1 person down and 3 people out on the other side. So I can see Shota Umino being one of the guys, because of the connection with Moxley. Yeah. Now I know people are saying Santana and Ortiz, and I mentioned this on Collision Course that I don't know if it's true or not, but there's rumors that Santana and Ortiz might not be on speaking terms or whatever the case is. But Santana is cleared to come back from injury. So what I would do is I would put Santana on the Eddie Kingston team because he has that connection. Actually, or maybe Ortiz. Either one. They could flop either one. Maybe put Ortiz. Put Ortiz with Eddie Kingston. And then on Moxley's team have Santana along with Shota Umino. And then the third person could be Homicide because Homicide has that connection as well with Moxley. So I feel like that way you can have Santana and Ortiz on opposite sides and then still have all the people filled in. So that's what I would do. I would have, Ortiz on Eddie Kingston's side and then Santana, Shota Umino, and don't be Santana's, but you know what I mean. Santana, Ortiz, Shota Umino, and Homicide be the 4 mystery people.
I mean,
but by the time you hear this, Dynamite will have, announced that it's going to be
announced that it's going to be Jun Sakai, some shit. Who knows?
Yeah, it's probably going to be like Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, or something. Something totally left field. But regardless, who do you see coming out of this? Do you see the Blackpool Combat Club side, or do you see the Eddie Kingston side?
BCC probably. Have they lost one of these matches? They've won like 2. No, they won 1 Blood and Guts and lost 1, I think, right? Or they wasn't even BCC at that time, I don't think.
Trying to see if I can pull it up. Everybody in the chat.
I think BCC wins this one though. I don't see the Best Friends winning a Stadium Stampede match. They're there for spots though. They're definitely there for some spots, but they're not going to win this match.
I agree. We go to the next match. It is a 6-man tag match as Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Konosuke Takeshita take on the Golden Elite of Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi. I know people are a little upset about this match. They want Kenny Omega in a singles match, but honestly, with these 6 people, I could definitely see a really good match out of this. I feel like it's really to lead to the Kenny Omega Takeshita singles match the following week. But I feel like this match is going to be good. I would have Konosuke and Bullet Club Gold get the win here, possibly with even Takeshita getting the pin on Kenny Omega. What would you do in this match?
I don't know. This is very, very underwhelming. It's kind of like when ROH went to Madison Square for the first time. It's like, what are we putting in this card? Bullet Club Gold is pretty hot right now. I give them that. But for the biggest pay-per-view in my company's history, I don't want Kenny Omega in a 6-man. I'm just going to be honest. I want him in a 1-on-1 match. But because this is a match you can see about 4 years ago in the undercard in New Japan. This is the exact same match you can see there. So it's nothing we haven't seen before. I don't expect anything but 6-man contact. You know what I mean? It's gonna be that exactly what we said. What I just said it was going to be the undercard at the New Japan show about 4 years ago. So the crowd's going to be crazy. That's pretty much what we're watching this for. I don't have any expectations for this match at all. It's going to be good. Why not?
Yeah, I think the crowd's definitely going to be crazy with this. As long as you give the match a lot of time and have like those spots where you have like your Kenny versus Jay White, and you have your Kenny versus Takeshita, and Ibushi versus Takeshita, like all these different matchups you could definitely have during this match. I think the crowd is definitely going to be into it. And actually, I forgot to mention this in the previous match, but with the Stadium Stampede, like you feel the crowd, like how are they going to react to this? Because they're obviously going to be all over the place. You have 12 men wrestling here. I feel like that might unfortunately be a little sloppy from both watching from the arena as well as people watching from home. I'm not sure how they're going to do split cam with all these different matchups, but hopefully they film it in a way where we can actually see all the action. But I don't want like Wembley to turn on this match because they can't see anything.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I don't want to watch a Stadium Stampede live, like in the arena.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And shout out to Frank for informing us. So BCC won Blood and Guts last year, but they lost it this year. Okay, so they're 1-on-1. So I think they could definitely
makes no sense.
take
They should have a match that they don't lose.
Yeah.
You know, like if they was the kings of Blood and Guts, BCC would mean something. But I digress.
I'll be honest, like with all these stipulations, I always lose track, like which one's Anarchy in the Arena, which one's Stadium Stampede. Like I can't,
I couldn't tell you the difference between Stadium Stampede and Anarchy in the Arena. I couldn't.
Frank says that he wonders if they're going to do some pre-tape stuff. I think that would be even worse if you just like throw to a video on the screen. Like imagine having all this time waiting for a show in Wembley and then you're watching a match on the screen. Like I don't know.
They did that, didn't like one of the Stadium Stampedes when they cut to the room and like Sean Spears is sitting in the chair in the dark room or something like that.
Yeah, but wasn't that like during the empty arena stages?
Yeah, it was then.
So you can get away with it there. But if you have a crowd full of 80,000 people, I don't know if you want to show pre-tape, even if it's for a few minutes. I don't know if I feel like the crowd might totally like turn on that. You need to have some sort of action going on, whether it be like people in different parts of the stadium, just have different pockets of people reacting to it. I feel like
crowd the noise travels too crazy in huge arenas, so it's like they're going to be reacting to something totally different on that side. So good luck, guys.
We go to the next match. It is a tag team coffin match as Darby Allin and Sting take on the Mogul Embassies, AR Fox and Swerve Strickland. What do you see coming out of this match?
I see Sting jumping off of something. I see Darby hurting himself really, really bad, and I see the Mogul Embassy winning the match. I don't see Sting and Darby winning this one. Or they could completely flip it on his neck and have Sting do something crazy and go over. But Swerve and AR need something. I feel like Swerve never wins in like big matches.
Yeah, you know? He never got his win over Keith Lee, right? Like that match never happened. Where's Keith Lee? How come he's not on this card?
Who? What? Who's that?
You could have definitely made this. I mean, there's already a 6-man, but if you wanted to, you could have had like Keith Lee on Darby and Sting's side, maybe even Nick Wayne, and then on Mogul Embassy have like those guys, Brian Cage and Gates of Agony and all that.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, this match has to be like very separated from the Stadium Stampede, especially if you want to do like crazy Sting stunts, because I feel like with these all four of these guys can hit crazy moves. I've seen AR Fox and Swerve Strickland do some ridiculous things in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
Obviously, Darby Allin wants to die with all his moves, and then Sting is Sting. So I feel like they obviously can't do the Stadium Stampede type of stuff with this match, but I feel like you need to have some out of ring action here and do at least one or two crazy spots between these four. But I agree. I think Darby and Sting are going to get the win coming out of this. And then Darby has a match the following week, right? Against Luchasaurus. So you definitely got to keep them strong going into that title match.
Now that I think about it, looking at the card, like the tag matches and the Stadium Stampede, it's not going to be no spots left for the main event. Like all the spots are going to be done. Everything's going to be done.
And they said there might be some more matches added to this. I don't know if we're going to get like some Battle Royal or something, but we're definitely going to get some more matches according to Tony Khan's press conference yesterday about this show. So,
well, you can't have any more like crazy matches. You just need to have like 2 one-on-one straight up matches because everything else is chaos.
What one-on-one matches would you do? Like, what would you add? All the other one-on-one matches are going to be the following week. You have Hobbs and Miro got set up for All Out. So it's like, what can you really? I feel like at this point, ladies match. I mean, you could do Chris Statlander, Mercedes. I don't know if you do that like one-on-one at All In though. I don't that
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I didn't hear any women's match announced, so I don't.
Well, speaking of women's matches, the only women's match we do have is Fatal 4-Way for the AEW Women's World Championship. Right. I'm sorry, not Fatal 4-Way, because that's a WWE term that Tony Khan doesn't want to use. 4-way match. Hikaru Shida defending against Saraya, Toni Storm, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I feel like Shida just won this title, but I feel like you need to probably put this on Saraya, especially with this whole Toni Storm like delusional character you have it now. I feel like by putting the title on somebody else that's in her faction might just totally drive her off the end and just. I feel like I like Toni Storm's direction where she's going now. If you've been watching her, she's been like has really delusional, like 1920s type of like actress type of character. Like I'm just better than everybody, but I feel like it doesn't fit with the Outcast at all. Like it's totally different. So I feel like this might be the driving wedge to separate them and put the title on Saraya. She's going to be a babyface winning that title anyway. So have Toni Storm turn on her either that night or the following episode of, Dynamite or All Out, whatever the case is. You can even like have the turn happen at Dynamite and then just go straight to the match. Have Saraya versus Toni Storm at All Out. Why not? But I can't see Britt Baker winning it. I can't see Toni Storm winning it. She just had it. Maybe Shida retains, the slight possibility, but I feel like with this crowd here, you definitely want to put the title on somebody like a Saraya.
I'm thinking Shida retains and maybe Saraya and Toni like have a little spat in the match. Maybe.
Yeah, you could do that
but yeah,
also,
I'm thinking, Shida retains because of that probably. Cheetah doesn't need to lose the title because they need to break up the Outcast. So they need to keep her with that title. Without the title, she's pretty much off TV most of the time. So yeah, Cheetah can really work. So she needs to hold on to something.
And like I just listened to the AEW Unrestricted podcast. It's like celebrating the 200 episodes and everything, and they just talked about Cheetah and how like she like busted her ass here, to learn English and do better for herself. And then when she finally won the title, like she was just getting a reaction. I think it was like the week before the pandemic hit. People started chanting "Holy Cheetah!" The crowd was getting behind her, and then as soon as she won the title, or that's it, there was no crowd. So her title reign was during the pandemic. Like she had no crowd, and then now she finally got it back. So I feel like it would suck to take the title away from her, but I don't know. I feel like it might happen here. We go to the next match. Yeah, exactly. We go to the next match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. FTR defense against the Young Bucks. These 4 guys never miss, obviously. I can't see a title change here. I don't know. Maybe. But I feel like it's going to be a great match here. But I feel like FTR is going to retain this. What do you think?
I think FTR needs to lose the belts. The belts have meant nothing since they left the Young Bucks. Like the last time, right? I didn't even know FTR had the belts. I thought they still had the Ring of Honor belts. I had no idea they had the AEW belts. But yeah, they gotta lose those belts. They mean nothing over there. They're on Collision every night. I mean, if you don't watch Collision, you don't see the AEW Tag Champions. Not saying that people don't watch Collision. I'm saying that they've just been kind of cold since they've been over there with FTR.
And also they've been involved with like CM Punk and all that, so I feel like the tag titles has been kind of like lost in the soul shuffle. But I agree. Yeah, I feel like they probably should retain. Or they should lose. You think they should lose, right?
I think they should lose. Yeah, I think they should lose. Yeah, even though how many reigns would that be for the Young Bucks? Like 3 or 4 or something like that. But
let's see. It would be actually it would be the 3rd title reign. They had the title back in last year, July.
And I think that's what the crowd is going to want to see anyway. I think, especially with some of the news that's been going around. I don't know if they're going to flip on FTR. I have no idea. I'm sure the chants are going to be great, but
the crowd's going to be wild no matter what. It doesn't matter who they put out there. The crowd's going to go behind it. If they do have a battle royal and Luther's in it, they're going to do a chant for Luther.
Exactly. So
they're going to be in it.
FTR, I think they're going to lose that belt. They lose the belts to the Young Bucks.
And we already talked about the main event with MJF and Adam Cole. We both thought that MJF is going to win, and then had that stare off with CM Punk. Can you see any other like angles coming out of this, or any other surprises? Who's going to show up? Is Goldberg going to show up and spear MJF? Is I don't think we're going to see Edge, and that was like the talk for like a day until we found out his contract is good till October. But yeah, anybody else you could see like show up or return possibly?
No, I want to say this one time. Wrestling fans, we got to calm down saying we hope Goldberg pops up. All right, nobody really wants to see Goldberg pop up in AEW. I know some people like to like throw that around, like no, because we're going to complain when you see him. You're going to complain when he's in the ring with MJF. Well, I am. I don't want to see Goldberg in AEW, dude. I just don't want that to happen. And the more people keep saying it, Tony Khan's going to think we want it. So I'm gonna be the one guy say, TK, don't do it, brother. Save that money, brother. Don't do it.
I feel like we're gonna get it only because he has that connection to TNT and TBS and all that. So I feel like Tony Khan likes that nostalgia act. I wouldn't like have him fighting every week. Maybe have him fight like a couple of times a year and just have him like a special attraction type thing. Yeah, but at a Wembley, I could. Miller. I mean, yeah. I could definitely see him being a surprise at Wembley. I feel like it would just have a crazy reaction. Like if you're Goldberg, right, and like, okay, there's a lot of money, sure, but like having a return at like a Wembley, a big arena, like I feel like he might want that treatment, just like that star treatment.
But does he use his theme song?
I think he has to.
If not, I don't want to see him.
No, I think he has to. Tony Khan's, he buys everything. He's gonna have to buy that song.
All right. He's gonna have to, and if he can't come out as Goldberg, I don't want to see Goldberg. Because half of Goldberg is the entrance.
He's gonna have the full WCW, like the same exact presentation that he had there. I feel like they're gonna try to replicate it as best as possible. Trying to think of any other like returns who's been out for a while. I know Thunder Rosa's been out. I feel like maybe she could be somebody who pops up here. I know she's been like trying to get reinstated or get cleared back in here. Who else do we get? We're not gonna get Ricky Starks because he's a manager now, so we're not gonna get him on the show.
Right? What the fuck is going on, dude? What is going on? I don't. Yeah.
Hey, maybe Goldberg will be in the Stadium Stampede match.
At the merch stand. Turn around this Goldberg there. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, maybe Scorpio Sky. We can reach for the sky or something. I'm surprised he didn't do a what's that? Reach. What was the match that Scorpio Sky won? Is that the
Reach for the Sky ladder match?
Reach for the Sky ladder match. The I forgot what the gimmick was, but I'm surprised they don't have a ladder match in this pay-per-view. It seems like something they got enough crash and burn type matches anyway. They don't need ladders.
They're gonna announce something tonight. They're gonna announce some sort of like ladder match or some sort of casino battle royal or something, like some gimmicky match. But I feel like it's just gonna be more men. Like let's get some women in here. Like why can't we have a women's battle royal?
Yeah, do a casino battle royal with women.
Face of the Revolution. Thank you, Frank. I know that was
Face of the
Revolution. There we go.
Yeah, you get the giant ring.
One of those for the Sonic ring. There we go.
Get the giant Sonic ring. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, that'll be the show this Sunday. Check out PostWrestling.com. They're gonna have coverage of it on Sunday on this very channel right here, as well as on the podcast. I unfortunately won't be able to watch it live, as it is going to be at 1:00 in the afternoon when I work. So I'm gonna have to try to avoid spoilers as much as possible. I'm gonna tell my coworkers, they don't really watch wrestling, but they'll like see something online and just mention it to me. Like, they'll be like, "Oh, Goldberg showed up," and I'm like, "Oh, fuck, man!"
Yeah, I'll be working too, so I won't be able to watch it live. So I'm in the same boat. So.
But we will be here back next week on Up Next. We'll have our thoughts on All In, and then we'll go right into a preview for All Out. I'm sure we'll have a whole card set up for All Out after that. Payback is next weekend as well, so we'll probably be talking about that when that happens. But yeah, you'll be hearing and seeing our faces here for the next 2 weeks or so, as the BDE is just putting Poisonrana stickers all over. I heard they put
all over Europe.
Yeah, they put one on the Big Ben. I heard they put a Poisonrana sticker on there.
Oh shit!
They put some all over Berlin. Like I think it was like Hitler's cemetery or something. Like I think Braden put a Poisonrana sticker. Like this, they're going all over Europe right now. So
that's hardcore. He puts a Poisonrana sticker on.
Hopefully they come back. Hopefully they don't have any issues coming back to the country. Based on
what this Poisonrana thing is.
Hey, if we get a phone call from John and Wade saying, "Hey, you guys want to permanently take over Up Next?" We'll know why. We'll know what happened to them, and then Up Next UK or something. We'll start over there on their side. Yeah, where can people follow you? Hear more of your stuff. Hear more of our stuff. Go ahead and plug away to the people listening to us. B.
You can follow me on most of the social medias at Cool Gaming B, Instagram, X, and you can follow me on Facebook at the Brian Tannehill, the Brian Kendrick. So you can hear me on What Up Though with John Siino, and I've done some things with Davie in the past and Up Next. And you can go back and go on YouTube and check out me having the eating the blazing sauces with Davie back in the day when we was doing the live streams. You can check out all that stuff if you want to get some more B-Detroit. And I've done a bunch of stuff, man, just with the people of this network. So What Up Though every month on Poisonrana with me and Siino.
Yep, absolutely. So obviously check out What Up Though. I'll have a new episode of Shot in the Dark tomorrow. See what I'm talking about. Phoenix and Commander had a really good match on Rampage. I know people don't watch Rampage, but that was probably one of the best matches that I've seen. So I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about Women of Wrestling, NWA, MLW, Ring of Honor, NXT Level Up, Main Event. Main Event had a crazy match between Ricochet and Ciampa. So a lot of these shows have like these little sleeper matches. So if you want 15 minutes or less, what should I watch here? Shout out to Muggin. I know he takes my recommendations and puts me over whenever he talks about, Siino recommended this. So I appreciate things like that. But yeah, 15 minutes or less every week talking about all these shows you don't have to watch. And I'll let you know what you do need to watch from those shows. Check me out every Saturday with Kate from Montreal on the Post Wrestling Patreon talking about Collision. This week we have I'm trying to think what's on this week. I feel like they haven't even tonight. They're actually taping it. So yeah, you don't even know what's going to be on Collision. Yeah. They announced some all-star 8-man all-in tag team match or something. So we'll see whatever that is. But yeah, check out every Saturday talking about that. And yeah, we'll be here next week on Up Next as the invasion continues from B-Detroit and John Siino. Any last words, B, before we go?
No last words from me. Peace, everybody in the network. See y'all later, man.
Hottie biscotti.